Yo, what's good? It's your boy DJ Avalanche, the Caribbean's hottest, internationally known. Got to do a major shout out and salute to the Boxing Source. Check it out every Sunday with my boy JR. It's so amazing, so major, so informative. And make sure y'all keep locked, because I keep it locked right there to the Boxing Source. DJ Avalanche, salute. Bow.
Okay, so it looks like Canelo has made up his mind that he's going to do this Yildirim fight, because he wants a homecoming, and then possibly Billy Joe Saunders. So in that case, since you are behind the scenes, and I know you always look ahead, can you give us some names, or maybe a name for Triple G?
I think Demetrius Andrade. That's the unification fight. I think, how long have we been searching for that standout fight for Demetrius Andrade? And, ultimately there's Jaime Munguia as well, which is a great fight, but Triple G should be looking to unify the division. He, like Canelo, if they don't get that fight, should be looking to face the champions. Demetrius Andrade is avoided. And, I'll be saying to DAZN, listen, we have a contract. You have a contract with Demetrius Andrade. You have a contract with Gennady Golovkin. Let's put these guys together. They're both world middleweight champions. Let's make the fight. It's a really, really good, intriguing fight.
Those are the words of Eddie Hearn talking with Ak Barak on their podcast that is on Sirius XM Radio earlier today. And they kind of brought up the conversation with Canelo Alvarez and Canelo Alvarez's plans for 2021, which is there earlier in their conversation. Canelo seems like the plan is for him to, as mentioned in an earlier video, for him to defend the WBC and WBA super middleweight championships against Avni Yildirim in a mandatory defense in Guadalajara, Mexico, and then later on down the line, face Billy Joe Saunders in the unification or Caleb Plant in a unification. Now, Caleb Plant is in the works to face Caleb Truax to defend his IBF version of the super middleweight title. So with that being said, you have Gennady Golovkin, the IBF middleweight champion. He did have his defense against Kamil Szeremeta the day before Canelo Alvarez defeated Callum Smith. So Eddie Hearn says, hey, Gennady Golovkin, why don't he fight Demetrius Andrade? Demetrius Andrade is there as a WBO middleweight champion. Demetrius Andrade has had, multiple defenses of that WBO title. Some of them, maybe people have not really, felt was good matchups. You had his latest defense against Luke Keeler. He had his defense against Artur Akavov and Masi Selecki. And remember, he won the title against Walter Kotsindakwa because Billy Joe Saunders had the belt stripped due to his positive drug test. So you have Demetrius Andrade there, and he hasn't had a unification bout, and Gennady Golovkin hasn't fought for the WBO middleweight championship as long as he's been there in the middleweight division. So you should have this particular fight between Gennady Golovkin and Demetrius Andrade as a unification bout. It's like it was stated there. I mean, you have, Demetrius Andrade, you have Golovkin, both on DAZN. And as Eddie Hearn stated, he'll be saying to DAZN, you have a contract with Andrade, you have a contract with Golovkin. Let's put these guys together. And Demetrius Andrade is definitely down for that. He did respond on Twitter saying the quote that Gennady Golovkin is kind of noted for big drama show. So he is ready to get it on with Gennady Golovkin. Now, it was suggested on the podcast through Eddie Hearn that, Jaime Munguia is another potential opponent for Gennady Golovkin. It was mentioned there that, with with Jaime Munguia. If y'all remember, Jaime Munguia was a potential opponent for Gennady Golovkin a couple of years ago, before Golovkin ended up fighting Vince Martirosyan, and Jaime Munguia ended up fighting Saddam Ali at super welterweight. But Jaime Munguia is also a potential opponent for Gennady Golovkin, but Jaime Munguia is actually positioned as the number one contender for the WBC and WBO middleweight championships. But for the time being, having Eddie Hearn mention that Gennady Golovkin and Demetrius Andrade being there on the zone, they should have that fight to unify the IBF and WBO middleweight championships. You can find more on that through SiriusXM's The Ak Barak Show, but you can also subscribe to the Boxing Source YouTube channel for more boxing news and notes. And be sure to check out the podcast that's available on iTunes, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or whatever you use for your favorite podcast. On that note, folks, I'm out. Peace.